What's up, Minecrafters? KC here, and welcome to episode 42 of my Let's Play series for Minecraft Pocket Edition. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. If you have kept up with my series, you'll know that I've done most of my work underground, and that presents a few challenges, but one of the things that I'm constantly faced with is providing enough lighting and trying to come up with creative ways to do that. So I thought I might do an episode that just focuses on some of the different techniques I've used to provide lighting in my areas. So I've created a small room here, and it's totally dark at this point. There's no light sources in the room. So we'll use this room to cover some of these different techniques that I've used. But typically when I start a new area like this, I will start just by placing some torches on the floor, and that gives me enough lighting to work. Sometimes I may also just place torches on the walls. And again, that provides enough lighting while you're working in an area. But if we're honest with ourselves, we have to admit that that doesn't look that great. Torches just hanging off the wall. They certainly have their place. And in some areas like a dungeon or something like that, it may look nice. But for the most part, I try to find different ways to provide lighting. And if I'm using torches, one of the techniques that I use is to just simply place it back. Maybe remove a block, place a torch against the back wall. You could also place a torch on top of that lower block. And if nothing else, that gets the torch a bit out of view. If you're looking down the wall sideways, you don't really see the torch sticking out there. So that's one thing that you can do to maybe help hide your lighting source a little bit. Another thing that I've done is I have actually dug back 2 blocks and placed torches recessed like this pattern that you see here, but then I placed fence on the front. So at the right angle, you can't really see the torches at all. If you go to the side, you can see them a little bit. But again, they're providing a good amount of light. And again, they're a little bit recessed and a little bit hidden. So you can have a nice effect doing that. You can also use stone wall, which hides it a little bit more. But you'll notice that that really didn't change the amount of light that's coming out from those torches. So if this was a little more decorated, that might be a good option as well, using stone wall. And sometimes I might use some iron bars. Again, in a dungeon type of area, that might look nice. The iron bars let the light come through. And again, it's a little more hidden. And then the other thing that I would mention is that you can also use stairs. Stairs allow light to pass through as well. So you notice I've totally covered the torches, and yet this area over here is still well lit. If I remove those stairs and I place smooth stone there, you'll notice that the room has gone totally dark. So hiding your torches behind stairs is another option as well. Some other ways I've used torches, I have built those closer to the ceiling. In one of my areas, I placed a wood block on the ceiling and then just simply placed torches around the wood block. And you can get 4 torches there, so that does provide a good amount of lighting. As you can see here on the floor, that lighting is coming down. And that can look nice as well in the appropriate environment. And I've also created chandelier type lighting as well, which looks a little more sophisticated maybe. But you have a couple of different options with that. You can create a fence coming down from the ceiling and then just extend the fence out, and then you can place your torches on top of the fence. So again, this looks like a chandelier maybe hanging down from the ceiling. And again, it's putting out a good amount of light. So I've done that. I have also placed blocks at the end of these arms coming out from the chandelier. So if you were to place a block on each of those, for example, then you could place torches around those blocks. And so again, it's just providing a similar type of structure, and yet it looks a little bit different. You can make it look fancy with different types of blocks, whether they be wood or other types of materials. And you don't necessarily have to place torches all around the side. You could place them on the top as well and still get a nice lighting effect from that. So again, something that you can experiment in your world is creating chandeliers for holding torches. I've done a few other things with torches, and really until I built my nether reactor, the torch was my main lighting source. But one of the things that I've done in hallways in my area is to remove one block and then place the torches below ground, and then you can cover those torches with different types of materials. In my world, I have used leaves, and so that can provide a nice effect. Again, the leaves are allowing the light to come through. But as we discussed before, you could also use steps for that, because the steps again will allow the light to pass through. And you can also use half slabs. So if you place half slabs over those torches, it still allows the light to come through as well. So a few different ideas for torches. Again, all of those can have their place, but I feel like they all look a little nicer than torches simply hanging on a wall. So we know about torches providing light. Other types of light sources that you can use. If you've built a nether reactor, you may have obtained some glowstone dust. And so from glowstone dust, you can make glowstone, and glowstone puts out a nice amount of light. So there's different things that you can do with that. For example, you may want to create maybe a column or something like that. So if you were to place maybe some stone bricks with glowstone on top of that, and then maybe cap that with some other type of block, that can make a nice light fixture, especially outdoors. But I've used those indoors as well. And then you can also cover the exterior of that with trapdoors. And so you get something that maybe looks a little different, but it's providing a very similar amount of light. And so as you can see here, that's decorated that a little bit. And so it looks pretty nice. I've also used glowstone to create something that would look more like a street lamp. And I've used fence to build the street lamp post. So maybe I build that up a few blocks and then come out a block or two, and then you can place the glowstone just below that. So again, it looks a little bit like a street lamp or something. And again, you could cover that with trapdoors as well. If you want to somewhat hide the glowstone. So that makes a nice looking street lamp, and there's other materials that you can use, obviously, for your lighting source for that, and you can create some different decorative style lamp posts as well. I've also used glowstone in the past, just by placing it directly in the ground. So if you do that, then you can cover that glowstone dust with or that glowstone with different types of materials. For example, you may place that and then place some leaves on top of it. So you have some type of bushes or something like that where the light is coming up from underground and yet coming through those leaves in that case. I've also used glass on top of that. So I may place glass there and then put a cap on top of it. And so that can make a nice looking light source. So again, there's various things that you can do with glowstone. Another idea would be to maybe remove the material around the glowstone and then come back and replace that with steps. And if you do that, then the Glowstone will be sticking up or coming up from out of the steps, basically a half block height. And so if you do that, then you don't get the full effect of the glowstone, but you do then have the ability to maybe decorate it and make it look a little bit different. So again, you could maybe place a piece of glass on top of it with some leaves around it or something like that. But with the glowstone being recessed in the ground, it gives it a nice look that may suit an area of your world. So I'm just going to replace this floor here. So we've talked about torches and we've talked about glowstone. I have also used lava in the past. Lava puts out quite a bit of light, and if you're fortunate enough to have a seed where you have some lava source blocks, you can harvest those. And I've used that a couple of different ways. For example, if you dig back a couple of blocks, then you can place your lava up and it will flow down. And then I have before used glass to keep the lava from flowing out into the room. But that can give a nice effect, and you can see the amount of light that that's putting off. That's putting off quite a bit of light in the room. I have also used iron bars to hold the lava back. And iron bars give a nice effect as well. So you can imagine a room maybe with multiple columns of lava coming down. That can look nice. And then I've also used lava to make what I might call a maybe like a cauldron or something like that. So if you were to use upside down stairs, let's say I place a block here, and then I would probably use some type of stone stairs for this. But if you just go around, you can create again, kind of a cauldron or maybe a small pool. And then if I replace this wood block with lava, you can see how that looks. That puts out quite a bit of light, and it has a nice structure to it, I think. And you can do some different things as well. For example, I have used netherrack stairs before, and netherrack stairs provides a nice type of material to build the sort of this surface around the lava. So you can get a feel for what that looks like. It's a darker material which fits certain areas of your world, and I've used this as well in the past to create something like again, sort of like a cauldron or a work surface where there is lava in the middle, but it's providing that lighting that we need as well in our underground worlds. So some different things that you can do with lava. Again, it may look nice, but it's also providing that light source that we're looking for. Then you can also use pumpkins for lighting, jack-o'-lanterns, and I've recently been using those in my world more, and using them very similar to the way you may use glowstone. For example, I may place a pumpkin, and then I may place some trapdoors around it to sort of hide that pumpkin. And then maybe on top of the pumpkin, again, you could place, you could place some different materials. I have used leaves in the past, which again makes it look like maybe a flower pot or some type of structure that is growing plants. And that can look nice, especially like in the corners of your rooms and that type of thing. I've also used pumpkins just in the floor as well. So for example, if you dig too deep and then you use or place a jack-o'-lantern at the bottom of that, again, if you place stairs on top of it, the light will come up from underground where the pumpkin is and light the room. So that's another good hidden lighting idea. And so if your floor was made out of these wood planks, you could strategically place some of those pumpkins and provide lighting for your room as well. Then another idea that I have seen, and I really learned this or first saw it in one of Etho's videos. If you haven't seen Etho's videos, they're certainly worth checking out. He does a lot of work for the most part in the PC edition of Minecraft, but some of the things that he does is certainly applicable to Pocket Edition. But what he will do will be to grow a tree. Let's say that we do an oak tree, and I'll get some bone meal here so that we can fully grow the tree. That tree should grow here. I don't know why. There we go. So he would first start by growing his tree, and then remove some leaves, and then remove these top wood blocks and replace one of those with leaves, and then place a pumpkin on top of that, and then you can replace the leaves that you removed. And it's a little harder to see in this small room, but outdoors at night or even underground, I think that has a nice effect. I like that, and I've used that quite a bit. And again, that's not anything that I came up with. I first saw Etho do that. But I've used that in my world quite a bit because the lighting source is hidden within the tree, and yet it is lighting up a fairly large area, especially with pumpkins. Pumpkins have the highest light level of any block, but you could use glowstone, or you could use potentially a torch or something in the tree if you wanted to. But again, I think that provides a nice lighting effect, hiding your light source in trees. Then the last thing that I have used in the past is netherrack, and I actually did this in my Let's Play world. But I created, again, similar to what I did before, almost like a cauldron or some type of structure that was containing the netherrack. Let's see. So let me just grab some netherrack here for us to work with. So if you place netherrack and then you strike that netherrack with flint and steel, it generates a flame that will never go out. And then you can, again, place upside down stairs or really any other type of block around it. But I've used upside down stairs in my Let's Play world to create a structure around that. So I think that gives a nice effect. And again, it's providing a light source to this room, but visually, it looks pretty nice as well. I like the way that it appears that fire is coming up out of the center. You get the sense that something is burning there. And again, because that flame is on netherrack, it will never go out. So those are just a few of the lighting ideas that I've had. Certainly, I'm sure there are others, but those are techniques that I've used in my worlds. If you have any ideas yourself, I would love to hear those. Feel free to leave comments, and I will review those, and if I see something I like, I may use it in one of my future videos. So, thank you for watching. I certainly appreciate, again, all of my viewers, and I appreciate your comments and your feedback. And so I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I've certainly enjoyed creating it, and I look forward to the next episode.